Hello, everyone. Dr. Meschino here. This is a summary of the Zoom meeting we had yesterday with a great panel. We had the three attorneys, Attorney Ruggieri, Attorney Aparigliano, and Attorney Galligani. Great meeting. We covered a lot of topics. Let me just summarize it and make it easy for you to understand what we wanted to understand, where we stand. Let's talk about eligibility first. Eligibility is the main topic. A lot of people are asking if they're eligible. They're eligible if one of the grandparents, if they're second generation, one of the grandparents never naturalized, they're 100% eligible. Okay, either grandfather or grandmother have a certificate of non-naturalization, a cone, they can apply. Since there is a new restriction of the law in March 2025, your kids, if you're a second generation, your kids are third generation, they cannot apply as of now. However, it's important for you to reestablish that kind of linkage with Italy or with the citizenship. So if you're eligible, you should apply as soon as possible. If the grandfather or the grandmother became a U.S. citizen, or both became a U.S. citizen as a minor or as an adult, according to the new law, you cannot apply. You will have to appeal through judicial case if that's what you want to do. We have a collaborative attorneys. They can help you with appealing through the judicial mean, unless you wait for the courts to rule. As March 11th, there's an important court hearing for the Supreme Court. There are two Supreme Courts, one in March, one in April. They will legislate whether the law is in line with the Constitution first, or whether the law can be applicable to those born before 2025. March 2025 is the date when a law was approved. This takes us to the minor rule. I've been very outspoken about the minor rule, which I found it to be unconstitutional. I'm a political scientist. I'm not an attorney. I have a doctorate in political science. I have 2 master's degrees in education here in the U.S. Well, I feel very strongly, and I was very vocal to all the stakeholders, that a minor rule was incredibly unconstitutional, immoral, unethical, unfair. Because it's a 2025, you cannot strip the right from a minor upholding a law from 1912, which is against the Constitution, even before the Constitution. The 1948 Constitution is the foundational framework of the country. They cannot apply laws that go against the 1948 framework Constitution, especially if they're not in line with it. That's a basic one-on-one constitutional law. The attorney, Aparigliano, Ruggieri, and Galligani will all agree we are expecting positive results from the March 11 hearing and the April Cassazione hearing as well. They will not come until later. They're expecting for the court to decide in March and April, but the decision to be made public, to be delivered around after 1 month, 2 months. It's hard to tell, but usually it's within 30 days, unless there's some further delays. Therefore, we are suggesting everyone to start the process, at least with the 2 major artifacts: the naturalization record certificate, or the certificate of non-naturalization if they never naturalized, and the Italian certificates records. These are the 2 major milestones that we are assisting with. We are calling phase 1. Phase 1, which everyone should do. Everyone should have those 2 milestones either hanging on the wall or in their safe. These are historical family artifacts. Okay, if you're going through the parents, so if you're going through the great-grandparents, so you're third generations, you cannot apply as of today. However, if your parents are alive, we are strongly suggesting for your parents to move forward, because they are second generations. If they're eligible under the rules that we talked about before, they should be the ones to apply to reestablish a closer connection with you. Once again, the third generation is being cut off by the new law in March 2025. It's under heavy scrutiny. It will be under heavy scrutiny. It'll be very likely struck down, according to many attorneys, according to constitutionalists, political scientists like me. Therefore, do not stop this effort. Law is unfair, like I said, unjust, immoral, and unethical. If you apply through your parents, the eligibility, you're eligible if at the time of your birth, one of your parents was not an American citizen, was not a Canadian or an American citizen or a British citizen. That applies to you if you are first generation. Hopefully, that was clear. Then your kids as well, because they're second generation. If you're a second generation applied through your grandparents, you still can apply based on the rule that I said before. Your kids are not eligible as of now, but you should still start the process as soon as possible. Hopefully, that was clear. Let me know in the description if you have any question about eligibility. Remember, the minor rule is unconstitutional. If your grandparents became a citizen as a minor, or if your grandparents became a citizen upon their parents becoming citizen, that's called the minor rule, which is unconstitutional. We already talked about that. This should not refrain you from starting the process. Let's talk about reacquisition. Okay, this is reacquisition. Let's talk about reacquiring. We were agreeing yesterday with the attorney. The attorney also mentioned that if you are born in Italy, if you were born in Italy, regardless of the age, if you're 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years old, 20, if you came here and became a U.S. citizen, you are eligible to reacquire the citizenship. It's a pretty straightforward. The Italian government has extended now the deadline. However, you should start right away, no waiting. It's very straightforward. Only a few documents needed. You need a certificato storico di cittadinanza, historical certificate of citizenship, and a certificate of birth from Italy. We can help you with those 2 tasks, of course. You also need your certificate of naturalization. When you became a citizen, we can help you with that task as well. Now, how does it affect your kids? Your kids are if you require your citizenship or your parents require citizenship, the children are they're not direct effect yet on them. How there's still, in effect, there's still the law that says that you will have to establish residency in Italy for 2 years and then apply for the citizenship if your parents reacquired it. 2 years of residency doesn't mean you have to live there 2 years. You just have to establish residency. First 45 days, it's the deadline, it's the timing where the local police will verify that you live there, your official residency, and then you can feel free to leave leave, travel as normal, but showing a consistency of residency. Okay, you still have to reside there. Of course, you have freedom of movement, freedom of traveling. You're not restrained in that town. Restrained in that town, rather. Established residency is also good for those who can work remotely, those who want to move to Italy and relocate in Italy. We can help you. Alternative Jure and other attorneys can help you with that. Let me know. There I've helped over 40 cases in my referrals from me, 40 referrals coming from me. They were all successful. So if you need legal help in Italy, they can provide you help with residency. Now, the residency also counts if you're interested in the application in town, in the Comune. Okay, if you're eligible, of course, based on those new rules, you want to go to the town. There was a question yesterday in the Zoom about a gentleman that intend to move to Italy. Attorney Ruggieri can help. He mentioned the waiting is around 3 months. The staying is 3 months to 4 months. After the 45 days deadline of residency verification, other attorneys thought it was a little longer. It really depends on the town, if they're knowledgeable about the process, if they're willing to push the documentation forward. Usually the attorneys are familiar with which town can basically handle the process more efficiently, more effectively. So if you need any help, contact me, luminosaglobal.com, cell phone 312-217-6730. If you need any help with reestablished residency in Italy, applying in town for the citizenship through the Italian town, let me know. I'll refer you to Attorney Jure or any other attorney who is willing, able to help. There was another question from a lady yesterday talking about whether going through marriage or through ancestry. If you're going through the marriage, it's always better to go through ancestry first and then go through marriage, according to the attorneys, according to me. Whichever is easier. Remember, unfortunately, the marriage now has a language clause. I believe it's highly unconstitutional. The court has already kind of upheld a person request for citizenship, application for citizenship, where she or he had a slight learning disability. Therefore, the court deemed unconstitutional, if I'm not mistaken, the requirements of language acquisition, because language acquisition can be very difficult, especially with people later in age, elderly, and to me, an academic standard as a B1 test, it's a highly logical, it's unreasonable, it's unconstitutional in many ways. Let's talk about appointment issue. The appointment, once again, Chicago has opened its calendars. It was great of Chicago to set an example for other consulates, but other consulates are not following that. We are demanding, again, to open up the calendars as soon as possible. We have a team in place that can help because it's difficult. We had people trying every single day for months and months and months. It's a torturous procedure. There's no closure. It's time-consuming. It's stressful. It is illogical. It's not working. It's not functioning. The appointment system is not functioning as it is. Chicago did well. They opened up the day, so it was easier to get in there to snatch the appointments. All the other consulates don't know what they're doing. San Francisco, I don't remember anybody go through San Francisco. Philadelphia has been closed. They only open up 1 day or 2 days a week. I ask them, what do you guys do during the day? How many files do you review per day about citizenship? If you don't see anyone, so what do you do in your office? What is your operation? So we are pressuring them heavily. We're exposing ourselves to the sense of it, put ourselves forward to help thousands of people. They're waiting for an appointment. Miami, Philadelphia, New York had a standby list. Now they discontinued. We are asking New York to reestablish the standby list. It was working. San Francisco, don't remember anybody go through San Francisco. LA, the same. So I'm pressuring again, along with the stakeholders, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with the Inspectorate Office, along with the representatives from Italy, the senator and the congressperson from Italy. We are demanding an immediate open up of the calendar for the appointments. It is our constitutional right. It is our constitutional right. They have to. It's just a matter of time. So if you need help with the appointments, we can help. We have a team in place. We have fast internet, high tech. Let us know. We'll take that task off your hands. Invest this little money. You have to have some form of funds to invest. As many people travel, spend 5, 10, 15K for 2 weeks in Italy, then they come here and kind of hesitant in hiring professionals. You need to hire professionals. Let's talk about, I had a question that we had yesterday, an important topic, whether each candidate needs its own application for the consulate. Yes, the consulates are requiring, it's on their page. The consulates are requiring each applicant to have its own set of documents. So the cone, there was a lady asked me about a question about the non-naturalization, if they need it. You can be used one non-naturalization by all family members. Answer is no. Each one should have its own certificate of non-naturalization. There was a lady also asking about citizenship transferring to their kids if they became a citizen after 1992. If you became a U.S., a Canadian, a UK, Australian, Brazilian citizen after 1992, your kids can still apply. The line was now cut because the 1992 law allows dual citizenship. That was a major law of constitutional significance. Does buying property affect my judicial case? Another question that arose at the Zoom meeting. Attorneys say no. You can purchase a house regardless of where your judicial case is pending. That's not connected. So if you're looking for to move, buy property in Italy, and you have a pending judicial case, it's not, the two are not connected. Let me know, because we also have, we can help as far as moving to Italy. We have a program in our hometown, Itri, between Rome and Naples, a beautiful area by Gaeta, Sperlonga, the Ponza Island, close to the beach. We have the mountains, it's safe, it's a very quiet town if you look for safety, tranquility, very reasonable price, the housings. We have the mountains near the coastline. The beach is right there, a few miles away. So let us know if you're interested in moving to Italy. That's a new program that we actually started recently in collaboration with our local attorneys and local professionals, where they can help with local logistics, local rules and jurisdictions. It's probably one of the best areas. No one in Italy has, no other town in Italy has Rome and Naples close. Rome is 90 miles. Naples is 60 miles. This is my area. In the middle, I have a brochure. Let me know if you would like to check the brochure. The name of the town is Itri, Itri. Comes from the Latin iter, which is path. That's right by the Roman Appian, the old ancient Appian road that was going from Rome all the way to Puglia. And there's plenty of Roman ruins, even undiscovered. I just saw an undiscovered, unofficial Roman ruin when I went there this winter. Beautiful town. So let me know if you intend to move to Italy. We're talking about buying in condos, apartments for 80, 100, 120, 150,000 euro. Villa for 200. Don't quote me on that, but that's pretty much where the prices are. We'll put you in touch with the local professionals. Another important topic that was discussed yesterday was the New York records. A lot of people have a difficult time with New York. I've been dealing with New York records for 19 years. We were able to obtain all our records. Sometimes they don't disclose. They're very strict. One of the strictest county and states as far as the record releasing is New York. When there's a name discrepancy, they don't release it. In that case, if you would like to save money from attorneys, you can file pro se, which means on your own. I'm pretty good at filing pro se many ways. I have three cases pending pro se, which means on your own. We're not attorneys. We're just going to give you a step-by-step instruction booklet how to do so. There's no legal meaning. It's just a step-by-step instruction booklet helped by Omni AI, my highly advanced AI that helps us to formulate those step-by-step instructions. New York, you can do it pro se on your own. Let us know if you have any hard time. We'll give you that booklet for a very, very reasonable cost, so you can proceed and petition for your family records from New York County, New York City, New York State. We are almost done here. Let's talk about the judicial applications. I'm not an attorney, I'm a political scientist, but we have collaborating attorney or coordinator attorneys. If you are rejected at the consular level, because of the minor law, you can appeal in Italy. You can request an authenticated copies of the records you submitted. You should do that as soon as possible. If they don't respond, attorneys can help. You can always appeal the 1948 law, and we have the best cost. We have some attorneys that can file that for 3,000 euro. Okay, we handle here in the US, we handle the legalization, translations, and apostille. We handle all the steps of the process. We legalize the translations, which is much cheaper than doing in the US. We apostille the naturalization records or the certificate of non-naturalization, as well as the power of attorney. We can apostille and legalize the translation for you after you notarize it. So you have to notarize. So we are working with a lot of attorneys on doing so. So we are basically the administrative branch of the judicial part, so we can present and give the attorneys a complete file. So we'll just have to go in court and file it without any further delays. So we can do this. We are the best in the business. If you're a retainer attorney is asking for already, if you're asking for a lot of money to do those steps to legalize the translation, we can do here a much less. You can also appeal because of the bypassing idea, which was mine and attorney Jure. We had that idea of bypassing the consulate because of lack of appointment, and going through the judicial court, stating there's no appointments given, my right has been precluded, so can I file judicially? We had many clients who were successful. I heard some courts may start to fight this. However, it's still kind of viable, according to attorneys, a viable path. Let us know. We can help you with that step. If you'd like to bypass the waiting no longer for the consulate appointments that go through the judicial system, the time has lengthened. And this bypass also has caused a backlog, a problem. Now, before the waiting was around 6, 7, 8 months. Now it's over a year and a half, and 2 years, unfortunately. That's why we are trying to open up the calendar, the calendars at the appointment level, at the consul level, so people can have the kind of closure here in the US without going through the appeal process. The time you don't quote me, I will ask the attorneys, depending on where the jurisdiction of your Italian-born ancestor town is. Each court has different timing and procedure and length of duration of the waiting before the hearing. Let me reiterate, we have the best cost for the judicial appeal through our collaborating attorneys. We can help you. We can help you. Name discrepancy. Let's talk about name discrepancies. We were able to handle the name discrepancy with a sworn statement. Name discrepancies were always also handled at the judicial level. Some applications in the past were rejected because of name discrepancies when they're very robust, significant, consular likely rejected. So if you have a heavy, robust name discrepancy, you can amend those records at the state level. We can help you with that as well. Let me know if you need our professional help. The state battle records, you have to file for an amendment. If that doesn't work, you can always hire a local attorney in the US or file pro se on your own. We can help you to file a pro se, giving you some instructions how to do so. Going back to the backlogs, a lot of attorneys in the past, unfortunately, have been hired by multiple applicants. There were 20, 30, 40 applicants to the courts. It was causing backlog in a local town for registration. It is causing a backlog at local courts, and we provided solutions. We gave solutions. They wouldn't hear us. They made a law which has worsened the situation. This law has actually caused more judicial appeal than ever. Do you have a problem? In order to solve the problem easily by implementing, making functional the consular appointment system. That's all they had to do, eliminating 80% of the appeal in Italy. They made it worse. Consulates are still not giving out appointments. Plus, there were rejections because of the minor law. And all this is worsening the problem, the backlog through the judicial system. So they have made changes instead of improving, lightening the load of the courts. They have worsened the load of the courts. It's the opposite. It's a negative self-feeding loop of illogical decision. Everything could have been solved easily by just making those calendars work. Give people appointments. Give me a standby list. Like in New York, they did in New York. So people know that's whatever this wait is, 1 year, 2 years, 2 years, they wait. At least they have a closure. No, they didn't do that. They're not doing it. I don't understand why. And it's not a good look for Italians. It's not a good look for us when Italian Americans, for the first time they engage with our bureaucracy, with our government, they find this type of inefficiencies. Okay, we're going to do final remarks, and we are closing the summary of the Zoom meeting. Hopefully it was clear. We handle different topics. Thank you again for listening. Feel free to leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. And we cover a lot of topics. Let me know if you have additional questions. This is my email in my description. Cell phone is right there. Contact me at any time. We're here to help you. My phone is open every day, daily, after 3:30 p.m. I'm always available to talk. WhatsApp, preferably too. I like the WhatsApp. I like the audio messaging because it's a good way of communicating. You can hear the message. You can think about it. You can reply with audio messages with informed decision. And so forth. So texting is fine. It's a very fluid situation. 30 years of Italian dual citizenship cannot be erased. Okay, 30 years, thousands of Americans are dual citizen. Kids are brother, sister, cousins, and now they cannot change the rule. Discriminating toward the new generations, discriminating toward the people who have not applied before, just because there was a backlog. It could have been solved easily in many other ways. Thank you again, Dr. Domenico Meschino here, in collaboration with attorneys from Italy. That's a summary of the meeting that we had yesterday. We're going to have another Zoom meeting this Saturday, but it's going to be shorter. I have my microphone working. You can hear me clear. I was muffling. Was not the best volume, the best audio. That's why I want to do the summary to clearly explain what we have covered and to help as many people as possible. And why not to bring in some business for us, so to continue to fuel our mission to help millions of Italian Americans to fulfill their dreams of becoming an Italian citizen, regaining their rights, finalizing their rights of Italian citizenship that were given by their grandparents, parents, so forth. Just like myself, given my kids are citizen, and their kids actually are cut off. So that's really unfair, unjust. So a lot of us, the first generation, they moved here. My kids are first generation, second generation, because of this new unfair, unethical law, is being cut off. I'm not right. So we are standing on the position of the righteousness, good-heartedness, logic, law. Okay? Take care. Have a great weekend and stay in touch. Domenico here. Out. Arrivederci a tutti, ciao, statevi bene, ciao.